Two grains, one planet, and an age-old rivalry that shaped civilizations, sparked empires, and decided the fate of breakfast cereals. Corn and wheat, they're the Beyoncé and Taylor Swift of the food world. Both iconic, both everywhere, and both fighting for the spotlight in your pantry. But which one truly reigns supreme? The golden kernels of the new world or the humble stalks of the old? Today, we're digging into the long, complicated, and surprisingly dramatic history of corn versus wheat, the ancient rivalry of grains, right here on History of Food. Let's start at the beginning, or rather, two beginnings. Wheat is ancient. We're talking 10,000 years ago in the Fertile Crescent, where early humans in Mesopotamia and the Levant decided to stop wandering and start farming. Wheat was one of the first crops domesticated, and it powered the rise of agriculture itself. Without wheat, there's no bread, no beer, and probably no civilization as we know it. Meanwhile, across the ocean in what's now Mexico, indigenous peoples were working on their own agricultural miracle, maize, or what we call corn. Starting from a wild grass called teosinte, early Mesoamericans selectively bred it over thousands of years into the plump, golden kernels we know today. So while wheat was feeding the first cities of the Old World, corn was fueling the great empires of the Americas, the Maya, Aztecs, and Inca. Two different continents, two different grains, both becoming the backbone of entire societies. And just like that, the world's first grain rivalry was born. If wheat and corn were people, wheat would be the posh bakery owner, and corn would be the street food king. Wheat became the foundation of bread, pasta, and pastries, foods that defined European cuisine. In ancient Egypt, bread was literally used as currency. Later, in Rome, it became a symbol of power. Bread and circuses was the government's way of keeping people happy. Corn, on the other hand, became the heart of the Americas. It wasn't just food. It was sacred. The Maya believed humans were created from corn dough. It was ground into masa, turned into tortillas and tamales, and celebrated in rituals. So while one grain was building temples and togas, the other was building pyramids and palaces. Both were worshipped, just on different sides of the world. Then came the 15th and 16th centuries, the great age of exploration, conquest, and global food swaps. When European explorers landed in the Americas, they found corn everywhere. They brought it back to Europe, Africa, and Asia, and it spread faster than gossip at a royal banquet. Corn grew easily in poor soil and different climates, making it a lifeline crop for farmers worldwide. But there was a catch. People didn't understand its nutritional quirks. In parts of Europe and the southern U.S., heavy corn diets led to pellagra, a disease caused by niacin deficiency. Indigenous Americans avoided this by processing corn with lime, a method called nixtamalization, which unlocked its nutrients, something Europeans completely ignored at first. Meanwhile, wheat hitched a ride to the New World with colonists. It quickly became the preferred grain in North America, especially for European settlers who missed their bread and pastries. Corn was seen as peasant food for a while, until it turned into everything from whiskey to popcorn. So while the explorers traded gold and silver, the real global treasure was grain. All right, let's get a little scientific, because no rivalry is complete without a stats comparison. Wheat is high in protein, especially gluten, the magic behind fluffy bread, and it's a good source of iron, B vitamins, and fiber. Whole wheat versions are excellent for heart health and digestion. Corn, on the other hand, is naturally gluten-free, rich in carbohydrates, and packed with carotenoids, especially lutein and zeaxanthin, which help with eye health. It's also full of antioxidants and fiber when eaten whole, like corn on the cob or popcorn. So nutritionally, it's a draw. They each have their strengths. Wheat builds bread, corn builds vision, both build bellies. But here's where it gets controversial. Modern diets often use refined wheat and processed corn syrup, stripping away the nutrients and adding, well, calories and regret. So the lesson? Eat the grains the way your ancestors did, whole, hearty, and without the factory intervention. Who won the modern market? Fast forward to the 20th century and the rivalry goes corporate. Wheat became a global powerhouse thanks to the Green Revolution. New strains, fertilizers, and mechanization boosted yields massively. Today, wheat covers more land area than any other crop in the world. Corn, though? Corn became the economic juggernaut, especially in the United States. It's not just food anymore, it's everything. Corn syrup sweetens sodas, cornstarch thickens sauces, corn feeds livestock, corn even powers cars as biofuel. In fact, more than a third of all U.S. corn goes to ethanol production, and another third feeds animals. Only a fraction becomes food for people. So technically, we're all eating corn, even when we're not. Meanwhile, wheat still dominates global diets in bread, pasta, and baked goods, but in terms of sheer versatility and economic power, corn might have taken the crown. Of course, all this grain glory comes with a price. Modern corn and wheat farming relies heavily on monocultures, planting the same crop over huge areas, which can deplete soil nutrients and invite pests. Both require tons of fertilizer and water, and both contribute to greenhouse gas emissions. But here's a fun fact. Corn's incredible productivity means it often yields more calories per acre than wheat, yet it's also one of the thirstiest crops. Wheat, while less efficient, tends to handle drier conditions better. So in a changing climate, wheat might be the tortoise to corn's hare, slower but more resilient in the long run. Here's the twist. This rivalry never really had a winner, because like most food debates, it depends on where you're standing. If you're in Italy, wheat gave you pasta. If you're in Mexico, corn gave you tacos. If you're in the Midwest, both gave you a paycheck. Corn and wheat don't just feed us, they build economies, religions, and identities. One gave us bread, the other gave us tortillas. Together, they shaped what we call civilization. So maybe it's time to stop asking who's better and start appreciating the fact that we got both. From ancient empires to modern supermarkets, corn and wheat have been locked in a delicious duel for millennia. Wheat taught humanity how to settle and bake. Corn taught us how to adapt and innovate. They're proof that food isn't just survival. It's culture, creativity, and connection. So the next time you're debating toast or tacos, remember, you're taking part in a rivalry that's older than history itself. And in the end, maybe the real winner isn't corn or wheat. It's whoever gets seconds. If you enjoyed this video, please check out our other bingeable channels. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution.